Hi, and welcome to Coon Craft Yoga and Design. As always, I am Laura, and welcome to my channel. If you watched last week's class, you probably heard me mention that I would have a follow-up class that would mimic all of the movements in that class, but done solely in a seated position. So a complete chair yoga class to add to the channel. Sometimes those sessions are a little bit harder to find, especially if you are having issues with mobility or maybe an injury that you're trying to tend to, but still want to find some quality movement in your life. Or maybe you just want to use a chair yoga session to take a little break and discreetly do some yoga in your office or at your home office. Either way, this is a full session. So if you have a chair, go ahead and get one. It's nice to have a chair that does not have arms, so you have more movement to at least move from one side of the chair to the other and a little bit more space for you to lean around. Also, when you are seated on your chair for most or if not all of the poses, when you are on your chair, I recommend starting seated towards the edge of your chair. So you're only making use of those front 3 inches of your seat so that you encourage yourself to sit up straight and tall. We're going to go ahead and get started, of course, in a seated position right on our chair. And just turning around to face you, I'm going to take that position. So I'm moving myself towards the edge of my seat. My feet are flat on the floor. And just again, like we would in a regular yoga class, we're going to start with alignment so that our legs, our thighs are in line with our hips. We don't need to be open super wide here. We just want to be in a natural and comfortable position. And then we want to sit with a nice straight spine. So think of the flat part, the very crown of your head reaching tall towards the ceiling. The back of the neck is nice and smooth. Your spine is straight. And from here, we're just going to allow the eyes to gently close as we settle in for these first moments in class. And start to connect with our breath and body and allow the shoulders to relax. Seek out relaxation through the body. Find the areas that might be holding or creating any tension. Finding this alignment in our chair yoga is a great way to check in with ourselves even throughout the day. If you happen to sit at your desk a lot, just check to make sure that you're sitting up straight. Drawing the navel in slightly. On the next inhale, we're going to bring the arms out to a T shape. So we're straight out from fingertip to fingertip and the palms are facing down, reaching out with the hands like you're trying to reach to the opposite side of the room. Again, keeping the rest of our alignment the same. Our feet have not moved and our back is still nice and straight. From here, we're going to take some lateral side stretches. I suggest starting with the left hand, take it to the left hip, and then we're going to reach the right arm up and over. The gaze can come up to the sky, but if it's too much for your neck, go ahead and allow your neck to stay neutral, maybe looking forward or even looking down at the floor. Reach to the opposite wall with your right fingertips. And even though we are seated, you can still think about that right hip moving towards the right side. On an inhale, let's come back up, take the arms back out to the T position. We're going to bring the right arm to the right hip. We're going to move over to the opposite side, drawing the left fingertips towards the opposite side of the room. Hold here for a breath. And on an inhale, we'll return back to that T shape. We're going to take that lateral side bend once more, but this time let's allow the left arm to go long. Reach down, fingertips reaching towards the floor, and then the right fingertips reach toward the opposite wall. If this is too much on the upper body, like you feel it's a little difficult to maintain the integrity in the upper body, sometimes it is easier to keep the left hand at the left hip and find some stability. On an inhale, come back to a T. Exhale, let's move over towards the right, bringing the left arm up and over. The right arm goes straight if you are able. Inhale back to the T. A couple more times on each side. Exhale over. Inhale up to a T, using your own breath and your own time. Start to flow through these lateral side bends just to wake up the body. One more on each side. And when you're here, return back to your T. We're going to lift the arms straight up. Again, staying nice and tall throughout the torso, but this time we're really plugging those fingertips into the sky, reaching up tall. Inhale. And then exhale, we'll forward fold. You might want to open up the legs a little bit more widely so you can make room for the chest and the torso to fold over deeply. Allow the head and the neck to hang heavy. And from here, we're going to just let gravity do its thing. As it pulls onto the upper body, you get a nice stretch into the lower back. And you can make that stretch even deeper by deepening the breath. Moving breath throughout the back line of the body into the torso and along the spine to create space on every inhale. And maybe allow yourself to sink a little further into your fold on every exhale. On the next inhale, we're going to roll up back to our seated position. The head comes up last. And then if you brought your feet out a little bit more wider than your hips, we can bring them back into alignment. So we're in that nice seated alignment. And we're going to take a couple of twists again to warm up that spine and really work into the upper body. So take an inhale. On an exhale, let's take the left hand to the outside of the right knee. And you can draw your right hand maybe to the side of the chair. Use it as a slight bit of leverage as you gaze back past your right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, right hand to the outside of the left knee, twisting to the left, maybe gazing behind you. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come back to neutral. Twisting to the left. Inhale, back to center. Once more on each side. And we'll finish it out with a twist to the left. And back to center. Now your spine should start to be feeling a little bit better, starting to wake up. We're going to take a couple more movements to feel more open in the upper body, shoulders, and neck. From this seated position, let's take our hands and we're going to interlace the fingers behind the neck and then take the thumbs just at the nape of the neck, almost like you're giving yourself a little neck massage, and then open out the elbows as wide as you can. It may not be super wide. It depends on the openness of your shoulders, and this can be really challenging to open up the elbows, so no worries if they don't come out completely straight. Sit up nice and tall, and from here we're just going to start by bending and curling the elbows in alongside the ears. So now we have these little ear muffs, and we're going to start to bend the neck. So we're going to get a little bit of a stretch into the back line of the neck, moving the chin forward. As we do so, I want you to avoid thinking of trying to smush your chin down into your chest. Think about more of creating length into the back of the neck and keeping that nice and long and smooth. You should almost still have a small little space in between the chin and the chest. And as you can tell here, I'm still able to quite easily speak as I do this. The elbows are rounded in towards the ears, and I'm using the weight of the hands to just create some traction into that upper shoulders, neck, and back. Take a deep breath here. And on an inhale, we're going to straighten, come back from where we came. Open up the elbows. Exhale, let's roll back down. We'll go ahead and take these movements with the breath. Exhale as we curl down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, curling down. Inhale, come back up. Once more. And we'll come back up to this upright position. The hands are still interlaced behind the head. And from here, we're actually going to release the left hand, keep the right hand where it is, and we're going to take the left hand to the outside of the right knee. For a few more twists, a little bit of a variation. These might be a little bit more challenging as we have the right arm restricted in a way behind the head, and you may find that your twist varies because of this change in the arm position. When you're ready, we're going to exhale towards the right. Only go as far as you can take it. Remember, we're twisting with the upper body. We're not trying to just move the neck and the head and force the twist. We're trying to move within the back. And then let's come back towards center, moving that right elbow across center, and then we're going to bend and lower the head towards the left knee, or just to the outside of the left knee. So again, we're getting a little stretch into the back of the neck. Inhale, lift the head, lift the torso, and then exhale, we're going to twist. Open up towards the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, we're going to lower towards the left, bending the elbow, bending the upper back and the neck. Allow the head to feel heavy. Inhale up through center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, lower and twist. Feel that stretch all the way down the right side of the back. Inhale up. And then from here, let's go ahead and release the right hand. We're going to take the left hand to the back of the head, just as we had the right one, and keeping that elbow open as wide as you can. From here, we'll take the right hand and place it to the outside of the left knee, and we'll take the twists. First, let's inhale. And then exhale, twisting it out towards the left. Again, moving with the back and the upper body. We're not trying to force the twist just by turning the head. Inhale, come through center. And then we're going to keep that connection with the right hand to the outside of the left knee. But then we'll draw the left elbow to the outside of the right knee as we start to curl into the upper body and twist towards the right. Inhale it back up. Exhale, twist towards the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist and curl in the upper body. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist and lower. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. Inhale back to center. We'll take this one more time as we lower towards the right. And then inhale up to center. You can lower that left arm, maybe shake the shoulders out a little bit, because that can make them a little tired from having them up by your head for that much time. And when you're ready, we're going to come into some push-ups. Now, these are seated scapula push-ups, which can sound a little bit different, but they are actually wonderful for training your back shoulder muscles and also relieving some tension that you might have in the upper back and just for overall building upper body strength. So where you are at seated in your chair, we're going to stay seated, extend the hands out in front of you with the palms facing forward and as if you're pressing into a wall or the floor, just like if you were doing a push-up down on the floor, and the hands or the fingertips are facing upwards. For the next portion, I'm going to turn my chair to the side so you have a better view. So as you can see, my hands are straight out in front of me with the fingertips facing upward. My shoulders are reaching down and away from my ears, and I'm looking straight forward. The rest of my alignment is just as it was when we started, with my feet flat on the floor, and I'm sitting up nice and tall. So from here, we're going to work on our shoulders, and you're going to think about pressing towards that front imaginary wall, rounding into the shoulders. So the shoulders are spreading across the back, and you're feeling a hollowing out of the chest and drawing in the navel just slightly. And when you're ready, we're going to start to draw the shoulder blades together, retract the shoulder blades, and squeeze them together, almost like you have this little tiny pencil that you're trying to hold between the shoulder blades. And then let's round it forward, pressing, pressing, pressing into the opposite imaginary wall, tucking in the belly button, and then bring the shoulder blades together. This can actually be very tiring, especially if you're very mindful about it and really activating into the upper body. We're going to take about 5 more of these. Use your own space, your own breath, and time to move through these upper body movements. Notice where you're feeling this the most. You might even feel it into the wrists. Even though this is not weight bearing, we still have a very sharp angle on the wrists. So if it's too much to have your hands out at a 90-degree angle, you can protect the wrists by having the palms facing each other and still work very deeply into the shoulders. Let's take one more. Awesome. Let's go ahead and shake that out. We deserve that. And now, since we are seated, we're going to move into some cat and cows, which are definitely something that we can all take a little break throughout the day and do. So starting nice and tall, let's take the hands. We're going to slide them just to the very front of the knees. So we can use that as a little bit of leverage as we start to tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, round into the upper back for our seated cat pose. And then inhale. Bring the hands to slide to the top of the thighs. Maybe draw the elbows in towards the sides of the ribs as we lift the heart center for cow. And then exhale to cat. Again, moving through these movements slowly and mindfully. Chair yoga is very valuable, whether you have an injury or not. I really was pushed to move differently at the beginning of my yoga teacher training due to an injury in my leg and not being able to bear any weight onto my left leg. It's something that I still need to maintain to this day. And my chair yoga and chair exercise classes I did were invaluable. And I highly recommend Caroline Jordan. If you've ever seen her on YouTube, her chair fitness classes are phenomenal. This is not sponsored in any way. I just really love her energy and her classes. So if you need more chair fitness, check out Caroline Jordan. And when you're ready, we're going to come back to neutral, just sitting up nice and tall. And we're going to take a little bit of a hip stretch in our seated chair position. We're going to stay with the left foot planted onto the earth and then cross that right ankle over the top of the left knee, just slightly on top of the left thigh. The right foot is flexed. And then from this seated position, you can have the left hand on the left hip, the right hand to the inside of that right inner thigh. Use the right hand to press down onto that right knee to give yourself a little bit of a stretch. And if you want to make it even more, you can start to tilt forward from the torso, and you're going to start to really feel that weight press down onto that right hip. If you are taking the option where you're leaning forward slightly, I recommend keeping the back nice and straight. So you're just tilting forward from the hips. And we're going to hold this for about 1 or 2 minutes. Actively using the breath. As you inhale, feel the belly, the ribs, and the chest expand. And as you exhale, search for more ease in the hold. And find your stillness. Just as we do in my yin yoga classes, which you can find lots of those on this channel. It's a great way to find ease in poses that may be kind of uncomfortable or challenging for ourselves, for our bodies, our minds. A lot of the challenge comes getting past what our mind tells us what we can or cannot do. Let's inhale, come back up, and you can go ahead and release that right foot from the top of the left knee. Take both of the hands to the side of the chair, maybe scoot the hips out towards the edge of the chair a little bit more. And you can also do windshield wipers in your chair as well. Just lean back slightly and get some movement back into that hip. For the next pose, we are going to stand and use the chair as our prop. I'm going to move my chair forward just a little bit more, so I stay on camera. I'm going to come into puppy pose, but using a chair. So stepping back from your chair, this is going to depend on your torso length and your height, but we're going to find enough space so that we can have the fingertips on the edge of the chair, stepping ourselves back so that our hips are above the knees, and then allowing the arms to stay straight as we let the chest, the head, and the neck to fall past the arms and reach the chest forward towards the floor. As you hold in this pose, just take a nice deep breath. Allow yourself to open through the shoulders. And if you're in your puppy pose and you would like to take it a little bit more deeply or just go for a variation, you can come to bring the area, the space just above the elbows onto the back of your chair. Take the hands to prayer behind the head. And then we're going to do the same thing, just allow the head, the neck, and the chest to reach for the floor as we draw the hands back in between the shoulder blades. Depending on how open you are in your shoulders and your upper body. It will depend on the variation that you choose for yourself today. On the next inhale, wherever you're at, we're going to slowly come out of the position and push ourselves back up to an upright position. I'm going to recenter my chair and then come back to take a seat. This time we're going to come into a figure 4 pose on the opposite side. So come back into your good alignment, sitting up nice and tall. The right foot stays flat on the floor. We're going to cross the left ankle over the right. And from here, the right hand can come to the hip or even to the side of the chair if that feels a little bit more stable for you. Left hand can press to the inside of that left knee and start to press down and to create a little bit of a stretch into that inner groin and also that outside left hip. If you would like, you can start to bend forward from the hips, keeping the back straight, and increase the pressure into the left side. It's funny how changing position on these poses, whether you're sitting, standing, down on your mat, laying down, they can all have different sensations. I actually find this position on my left side and seated in a chair to be harder versus when I am sitting down on my mat or laying down on my mat. It's something that I try to actually practice throughout the day when I'm sitting and working. Always a little tighter. On the next inhale, let's come back up. And from here, we're going to take a seated quad stretch. So you can come and shift yourself more towards the edge of your chair. Very helpful if you don't have arms on your chair for this one. And we're going to keep the right foot stable and pressing down onto the mat. Take a hold of the right side of your chair for balance, and we'll start to draw the left foot up. Catch a hold of that left foot, and then just draw it up towards the glutes as you would for a standing quad stretch, but this time we're going to use our chair. Again, make sure you're stable, and hopefully your chair does not have any wheels. You want to avoid chairs with wheels when we're doing yoga. When you're ready, we're going to switch sides. I'm going to scoot my chair over and scoot myself over off the right edge of my chair. This time my left foot becomes stable. My left hand secures me to my chair so I don't tip. And then I start to draw the right foot back and up towards my right glutes for a little stretch. Quad stretch or a seated King Arthur stretch, if you'd like to call it that. And when you're ready, we're going to release. For the next sequence, I'm going to again move my chair to face the camera to make it easier for you to understand where we're going. And from here, we're going to turn to face the left side of the chair and turn our whole body. So now the left knee is coming off the left side of the chair. Again, scooting yourself so that you're more on the front edge of the chair so we have room to move our right leg back. Option for you, you can keep the right knee bent and be on the toes of the right foot, or you can extend the right leg out long, kind of like we would be in a standing warrior two position. If you are in this more open position, you're going to feel it more into the hips. Keep pressing into the outside edge of that right foot and just find a way to make yourself comfortable on your chair. And again, above all, stable so that we're not going to tip or lose control while we're on the chair. From this position, we're going to take our arms out into that warrior two shape. So your right leg can be varied, whether you're on the back right toes or if your back right foot is flat. But we're going to extend those arms out long and reach from fingertip to fingertip. From here, let's face the palms so that they're both facing the right side of the room. And then we're going to draw the right hand, the right palm, to meet the left palm so that they kiss. And then we're going to inhale, open, allow the chest to open up wide, face the right side of the room, maybe gaze back towards the right fingertips if it feels okay. And then let's go ahead and exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. And exhale. Now our hands are met at what is the back side of our mat, and we're facing our hands. From here, we're going to keep that right arm where it's at, facing forward, and then we're going to draw the left hand back for a revolved twist. You're going to feel much more restricted in this twist. Again, we're moving with the torso and the upper spine. We're not trying to just force the twist and force the head to the back of the room. We want to move with the spine. So open up, reach with those left fingertips, and then let's inhale, bring the hands back to touch. Exhale, twist. Inhale, hands meet. Exhale, open up, reach. Stay tall throughout the spine. Come back to the center. Exhale it out. Once more, open up. And then hands return once more to the center. From here, we're going to bring the right hand back, palms face down, return to our warrior 2 position. On an inhale, let's take reverse warrior with our chair. Allow the right hand to slide down the backside body, reach to the back of the room with the left fingertips. And then inhale. Take an extended side angle pose by taking the left forearm to the left thigh. Draw the right arm up and alongside the right cheek as you lengthen through the back leg if you have the leg straight. And then from here, we're going to come back up into a warrior 2 position. And then let's windmill that right arm back to the front of your body. And we're going to just bring ourselves through center on our chair. Take a moment just to sit up tall. Inhale through the nose and exhale it through the mouth. When you're ready, we're going to take that little twisting sequence to the opposite side. So this time, the right leg or the right knee comes off the right edge of the chair. We're going to scoot ourselves so that we're on the front part of the chair, and then either take the left leg at an angle so that the knee is pointing down and you're on your toes, or you can open up and push that left foot out so that we are in this wonderful seated warrior 2 shape. From here, we're going to extend the arms out long, double check our upper body alignment so that our shoulders are away from our ears and that we're just nice and tall in the upper body and we're directly over the hips and not leaning forward. When you're ready, we're going to flip the palms so they're facing the left side of the mat, and then we're going to take those twists. So let's go ahead and draw the left palm to meet the right, facing the front side of the mat. And then we're going to open up, start to look towards the back side of the room, and then return towards the front. We'll take 5 of these twists. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Return back to the front. We'll take 1 more and then meet back with our hands connected at the front of the mat. From here, we'll take those revolve twists. Again, a bigger challenge, a little restricted on the movement. Keep the left hand facing the front side of the room. And then the right arm opens up as we twist the upper body, open the right shoulder, reach with the right fingertips. And then we're going to inhale back to center. Exhale, open. Inhale to center. Exhale, open it up. Inhale back to center. Exhale, open. Inhale. Exhale, open. And inhale back to the front. Wonderful. From here, let's open up the arms. Place the palms facing down so we come back into our warrior two on the chair. Stay nice and tall. On the next inhale, we're going to reverse our warrior. Allow the left hand to slide down the back left leg. Reach the right arm up and overhead. Exhale, come through warrior two as we come into our extended side angle. The right forearm to the right upper thigh. Reach the left arm up as you revolve the chest to reach towards the sky. And then come back, inhale into your warrior two. Exhale, let's revolve or rainbow the left arm up to the front part of the mat, reaching the right side of the chair. Draw the left leg back in, and then we're going to come back to center, finding our alignment once more in our seated position. Take an inhale. Exhale, relax the shoulders down the body. One more inhale. Exhale, release the breath. Moving into a seated butterfly position, we're going to open up the knees more widely. Take them out at a diagonal, almost to the corners of the chair. And from here, if you can, we're going to come to the sides of the feet. You may need to adjust your position. I need to come a little bit further onto the edge of my chair. But as the knees roll out, we're going to allow the feet to open up with them and to come onto the side edges of the feet. From here, just as we did in our seated forward fold, we're going to allow ourselves to curl over the front part of our legs. Now, the hands can definitely come to the floor for support so that you feel that you are stable here. If you have a couple of blocks too, you can have them right underneath so that you can bring the floor a little bit more closer to you. And then the blocks would set just in between the feet. Wherever you're at, we're going to sit or fold into this butterfly pose and hold here for about 2 minutes. And maybe as you hold here, maybe you feel yourself release a little bit more. Again, seek out those spaces in the body that might still be holding on to tension. And they can be places that are hiding or places that you don't even think of. Usually it's something very small, even a spot in the face, the place between the eyebrows, that very small area, can often hold on to tightness until we start to focus our energy on it and tell ourselves that it's okay to soften and relax. And from that point, you may find other areas along the face and into the skull that also need that little cue that it's okay to soften. It's okay to smooth and to release. From your butterfly, I want you to take your time on rising back up. Use the hands to push into the floor or your blocks. And then bring the feet back into alignment with the hips. Sitting back up nice and tall once more. One last pose before we end our class, and we're going to come into a seated twist, just like we would take a reclined twist on the floor. But from here, we're going to move the left knee in just slightly towards our midline and then cross the right knee over the top of the left. From here, we're going to take a little bit of a twist so the left hand can come to the outside of that right knee, and the right hand can come to the outside edge of the chair or even the top of the chair, depending on how open you are. And we're going to exhale, twist, and hold here to the right side. Maybe allow the eyes to softly close. Staying nice and tall, and remember to breathe. It's so important to move the breath as we twist. And when you're ready, we're going to return back to center. Unwind the cross of the legs. This time the right leg is underneath and we'll cross the left leg over the top. Right hand to the outside of the left knee. The left hand to the side of the chair, or maybe coming to the top edge of the chair, wherever you're at. Keeping the shoulders down, lifting the chest, and twisting towards the left. On an inhale, we'll return back to center. Go ahead and separate the legs. Come back into our chair alignment. The knees in line with the hips. And again, we'll sit up tall. And this is where we will find our Shavasana. Shavasana, where you have your hands placed, is completely up to you. If you would like your palms up and open and receiving to the world, you can leave them there. You can also bring them a little bit further into your lap with the left fingertips underneath the right, and then the thumbs gently touching. We'll just close here for the last couple of minutes, enjoying this peace and also this awareness within ourselves, seeking out what we need for our body physically, and also for our mental well-being, finding new and creative ways to move, and accepting that we are capable of so many things. We do have time for a little movement, even if it's just in our chair. Even if we have physical areas that hold us back, we can seek out new ways to move and still encourage our body and minds to be healthy and to keep moving on. When you're ready, we're going to take a nice big inhale and draw the hands up to the sky. Bring the palms to touch and then draw them down through heart center. And we'll close our chair yoga class today. As always, I am grateful for you showing up to your mat and committing to yourself. I hope you have a great day. Make it a good one. Bye.